stay. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Hello, everyone. I'm just finishing up a little bit of sharing here. Welcome on Instagram. Sober Sonrisa. Welcome. I do things a little weird. On my phone, I have Instagram, and then on my computer, I have Facebook and other stuff. So, trying to get this all collected into one place, that being my. It'd be cool if when I went live, what happened was anybody that has subscribed to my webpage would know that I've gone live and that it's done through that. There's too many, because I use like 3 different things. They all have their stats, things like that, and they're never right. And I'm kind of needing those stats. So, about the only stat that I know of that actually I can count on are the ones from Facebook at the end of the month. That's about it. So if you're here, please say hello, whether you're watching the live or the rewatch. I don't know what that number really is, but a minute ago it was at 5. So it is month 3. It's the 3rd month of the year. Yeah, that's what it is, the year. You guys probably notice that I have anxiety going on. I do. It's all right. It's not a bad, and it is not a bad anxiety. It's actually a good one. I'm just nervous about. I have some important, what I feel are pretty important podcasts coming up, and actually every podcast I put on, I think, is very important. Everybody has a different story. But what I'm trying to do now is kind of broaden our horizons by bringing on people that have not just done the work but go beyond it. There's some of us that do that. Drew Hicks and I are going to sit down today, and we're going to talk about all the ways that we fucked up as men and how we can resolve those problems and how we can change those things. All right. And I think it's important that we speak directly to men on that. Now, does that mean it's a podcast for men? No. Probably still be able to get something out of it. Drew knows his stuff and I know my stuff. We have never had a long conversation, so this is going to be interesting. I have Jamie Primer coming on next week. She runs the SoCo down south in Colorado. I got a friend coming on, Deanna. I'm really looking forward to that one. She is in my home group, and her story is just a little different, and that's what I really like. And the way she does it, she's very good at explaining herself, and she has some time in the program. JD Jericho, he's coming on Saturday. He works with Drew Hicks a lot, but kind of handles the West Coast stuff. So I'm going to be bringing you guys more information beyond what I know, and so we can do more. All right. So our troubles we think of our own making. Let's just go ahead and turn to page 62. All right. It says selfishness, self-centeredness, that we think is the root of our troubles. Driven by 100 forms of fear, self-delusion, self-seeking, and self-pity, we step on the toes of our fellows and they retaliate. So sometimes we are going through life, right? And this can happen in recovery too, where maybe you will do something and you stepped on one of your fellow's toes. Okay. Do something about it. Don't let it linger, right? What did the Cranberries sing? Did you have to let it linger? When we could have just kind of ended it, But we don't have to proceed on, right? Sometimes they hurt us seemingly without provocation, but we invariably find that at some point in the past we have made decisions based on self, which later places in a position to be hurt. Okay. Now, the reason I am going over this is because of my own. Usually, I cover stuff because I'm working through things. Right now, I'm at a point with recovery coaching where I just hate the whole darn thing. I am not a fan of it anymore. I don't like the way I'm being treated. I don't like the way other people are treated. Why am I being treated this way? Blah, blah, blah. But what I need to do is take a look back and see, did I do anything in this? And when it all started, yes, I did. I jumped in on the division train and said, blah, blah, start talking crap. But I have made my amends. Okay. And it works both ways. Do you think I'm over here waiting for my amends to come to me? Fuck no. No. See, I need to find my own place and find out where that's at. Otherwise, all this shit just seeps into everything. See, my path isn't about recovery coaching. I found that out. Okay. I have a $450 piece of paper that has my name on it. Signed by a person I don't even respect. So what does that tell you? Right? That tells me that I need to stay in my own lane. Okay? Do I know the whole scope of everything? No, I don't. So I got to let those people be who they are. But sometimes they're my friends and it kind of hurts, right? Well, I'm going to have open and frank discussions with them. And if they can't handle those, you shouldn't be a recovery coach. See, as a recovery coach, you best be open-minded to every fucking thing that comes across your path. Right? And I am. People's recovery are people's recovery. All right, let's get back to this. So we have done something. If we take a good look at it, we have done something. So our troubles, we think, are basically of our own making. What great fucking news. That is great news. Why? Because you're the only person that you can change. They arise out of ourselves, and the alcoholic is an extreme example of self-will run riot, though he usually doesn't think so. Denial is not a river in Africa, my friends. It is not a river in Africa. So why does it seem so? There's a part of this that I kind of want to dig into a little bit, and it's called mountains and molehills. That's a good one. It's a good topic, mountains and molehills. So, we tend to make our problems bigger than they need to be. Can you raise your hand if you do that? I do it. All right. We do that. As human beings, we do that. But as alcoholics, we are an extreme example of self-will run riot. You can flip that and become an extreme example of recovery. You can become a different example if that's what you want. So it says we, above everything, we alcoholics must be rid of this selfishness. We must, or it kills us. Period. It kills us. It'll kill you one of several different ways. Either you'll overdose. Maybe you got caught up with some fentanyl. Done. But that's not what they're talking about. It's not what they're talking about. They're saying that if you don't get rid of it, your heart's going to pop. It'll give you a heart attack, a stroke, all sorts of fun stuff. Right? The quicker you get rid of the selfishness and the self-centeredness, the quicker that'll go away. And the next line is that ah, I get that, Daryl. Yeah. And that's being human, I think. Being a mix. So Daryl's saying I'm kind of a mixture. Um, I'm kind of a mixture of both at times. Would that make it balance? So we must, or it kills us, and God makes that possible. It's the only way I've found. Um, honestly, it's the only way I want now. So when you do this and you practice it and you start to feel joy and serenity in your life, when you're doing things and then you turn around and see that what you've done has helped somebody else. You know, I got into the program because I was sick and tired of hurting my family. I was tired of hurting God's children. So now I help them. That's what I do. And God gives me a chance to do that all the time. I just helped my father-in-law find his glasses. We didn't have the best relationship in the past because of my drinking. Now that can change, right? I can do that for my wife. Bet. And there often seems no way of entirely getting rid of self without his aid. Many of us had moral and philosophical convictions galore, but we could not live up to them even though we would like to. Neither could we reduce our self-centeredness by wishing or trying on our own power. We had to have God's help. This is the how and why of it. First of all, we had to quit playing God. That's the first step in this, is you got to quit playing God. I'm not playing God. Shut up. Yeah, you are. Do you need us to prove it to you? We'll sit down. Let's sit down and talk a little while. And I'll give you some examples of how I felt that way. You know, that is why it is one alcoholic working with another alcoholic. We can help when no one else can. And God makes that possible too. But we got to get rid of the selfishness and self-centeredness first, or we're not going to be able to see the forest for the trees. We're not going to even be able to see the gifts that God gives us. They're going to go right over our head because we're going to be angry about a person who cut us off in traffic. Next, we decided that hereafter in this drama of life, God was going to be our director. He is the principal. We are his agents. He's the father. We are his children. I like the fact that they give us a lot of different examples on that so that you can pick which one you want. Man, we make it so easy. It is so easy to find God. It is only as hard as you decide to make it. And sometimes we do make it a little hard. For me, I felt weak. I'm like, I'm going to give everything up. I'm just going to be a weak fuck. And I was so wrong. I couldn't have been further from the truth on that, because it turns out that what I got out of it was courage. I have the courage to change the things that I can. And there's a lot of things that I can change in me. Most good ideas are simple, and this concept was the keystone of the new and triumphant arc through which we pass to freedom. Let's cover the promises real quick and I'll wrap it up. When sincerely took such a position, what does sincerely mean? Have you looked it up? It means wholeheartedly. It means I'm all in. All sorts of things, all sorts of remarkable things followed. We had a new employer. Being all powerful, he provided what we needed. If we kept close to him and performed his work well. Established on such a footing, we became less and less interested in ourselves, our little plans and designs. Yeah, and there that comes back to me staying on in my own lane. Yep. See, the only time I really get in trouble is when I get out of my lane. Weird. It's kind of like I didn't get in trouble every time I drank, but every time I got in trouble, I've been drinking. More and more, we became interested in seeing what we could contribute to life. As we felt new power flow in, as we enjoyed peace of mind, as we discovered we could face life successful, as we became conscious of his presence, we began to lose our fear of today, tomorrow, or the hereafter. Here's the big part, 3 big words. We were reborn. We're reborn. Here's our clean slate, guys, the one we've been looking for. It's going to take some work, but it's going to be given to you. Are there people in my life that still treat me like I drink? Sure. Do I hang out with those people? No. For the most part, the people that I hang out with tend to see the progress in my life. They're proud of what it is that I'm doing. And lately more, they've been telling me so. Let's see what David had to say here. I think some people have gotten complacent and they can't handle authority. Yeah, that's very bad for a recovery coach. Yes, it is. I don't have a solution. Thank you for being honest about that, David. But I can only imagine how difficult it is to teach them. Myself, when I'm in recovery, I try open, honest, and willing to follow directions. Yeah. That's it. So, and I certainly don't want to beat on recovery coaches because there's a lot of great recovery coaches out there. There are. But you're going to find that they do things a little bit differently. You're not going to find them on Facebook. You're not going to find them on Twitter. You're not going to find them on Instagram. You're going to find them at bigger places like Mental Health Corporation in Denver. You're going to find them working at the counties, at the courts. Right? Because what they've done is they've done the work and they've become an esteemable person. And that takes work. That comes back to the quality over quantity, right? I'm sorry, but you cannot get quality without the quantity. I wish it worked a different way, but it doesn't. Now, it took me 2.5 years. Does that mean what it's going to be like for everybody else? No. In fact, a lot of people get through this stuff within a year, man. That's actually pretty quick. Considering how long we have been drunk, I don't think 3 months is enough time for you to turn your life around and start telling other people how to live their lives. Because you don't know yet. You don't know. And if you don't know, you can't transmit something you don't have. So you're going to have to go find it and teach yourself. The best way to learn is to teach. All right, guys, that's what I got. Thanks for being here. David, Daryl, it was good seeing you. Hope you're doing well. Daryl, you've been in my prayers a lot. I hope you and Ashley are doing well, man. Love you, dude. Actually, Daryl, I'm going to throw your podcast up today. So I'm doing a throwback Tuesday. I've been trying to figure out who I wanted to put up there. So I'm going to use yours today. So, all right, guys, I love you. Peace out and have a day.